With my shield, I guess you really could say that I'm a special snowflake.
Dude! Oh yeah! Check out these awesome snowflake shoulder armor pieces! They're so awesome! Glad I picked these up at the dollar store.
I think I'm gonna go make an alliance with the Skrull.
Hello everyone and welcome to the recap review. Today we're going to be taking a look at set number 8988, Gelu. The set contains approximately 52 pieces, was released in the summer of 2009, and during time of release was approximately $13. Alright, the also former Glatorian of the Ice Tribe. Now before we get into the review, let me get my disclaimer out of the way. Just because there are pros and cons in these videos does not necessarily mean they are my personal opinion. I do my best to make these videos as objective as possible, and as such, any comments should be taken as either community opinions or as objective facts about the set I can represent here on camera. So please, unless I explicitly state so, do not assume that anything in these videos are my personal opinion. Okay? Awesome. Let's go ahead and get into the review. So right out of the gate, let's talk about some new pieces, since I think those are fewer than the recolors. New parts would include this sword piece, or these sword pieces. As we can see here, they remind me a little bit of the Hordika pieces, because one part of it, the silver part, is a solid plastic, and then the flexible ice part. So we get two of those. They make this kind of double-sided sword, or just long, giant blade piece. We also have this right here, his helmet, and it's kind of interesting. A lot of people say it's kind of cat-like. You know, he's got whiskers and ears. I don't really know, but that is a new helmet. There you go. And that about does it. Only 3 new pieces with Gelu. Now, as far as recolors are concerned, I think we actually have even fewer. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the only new recolor we have is the torso, and that is a new that is new in white. Aside from that, and now I may be wrong about this, but I believe that's about it. We may have these new pieces new in dark blue, however I cannot quite remember, so throw that in as a possibility. So that gets all that out of the way, let's get into the actual set. Now as far as Gelu is constructed, he is, in many people's opinion, quite possibly the most basic default Inika after the Inika. Aside from a car, of course. There are some differences, like the leg pieces used and the arm pieces used. However, he is really, really simple. Same general Inika build. Not a lot of people like him for that. So if you're looking for a new and innovative build, you're not going to find that here. On the back, functionality-wise, we do have the counter. I'll talk about this in my 2009 overview as to what that's for. And we have the Thornax launcher. And he holds it traditionally just in his hand. And that should, boom, there you go, launch away. So there's that. As far as posing is concerned, because he has the standard points of articulation, 3 in the arms, 3 in the legs, 1 on the head, you can obviously get some pretty cool dynamic poses. So posing really has never been an issue for him, except for one slight problem. And that's in his arms. Because of the way his arms are constructed, you're going to find that his lower arm will bump right up into this kind of upper arm armor piece. That is the most it will bend. So, that's it. Of course, that won't really hinder you so long as you don't want that kind of a pose. And as long as you keep it kind of outstretched or you only want it there, it's really not that big of a deal. So people really do like his motif. Of course, he kind of borrows some things from others. Aside from the white color scheme, which, by the way, is rather consistent. White and the Metru blue, and then, of course, this brighter blue. Really consistent color scheme, which is good. He does have a slight ice motif. More of a icicle motif than the iceberg look that Strack was going with. We can see that in the very sharp, jagged edges in his sword. And, of course, these snowflakes on his shoulders and the kind of spikiness of his helmet. So there is that. And a lot of people do like that. Now again, as far as the color scheme is concerned, it is remarkably consistent. There are only a few blue pins on the back here, so if you're not looking at the back, you're not really going to mind. And then the red axles for where he's holding the Thornax launcher. Now on the back, of course, we have these standard gaps, because it's an Anika build. We do have some open axles because of the piece used, but that's really about it. So there's not a whole lot more to say regarding Gelu, at least I can't think of it right now. He's a rather standard Anika build. It's what people have come to expect, and he is one of those sets that people are kind of, it's Gelu. So while I don't think a lot of people would refuse Gelu, they also likely would not seek him out. However, he does have a lot of nice aspects, a very consistent color scheme, one that contrasts, at least somewhat nicely, or it flows nicely together. He does look like he's from the Ice Tribe, and story-wise, he left the Ice Tribe to become kind of like a bounty hunter. So if you're looking at him from a perspective of he's a bounty hunter, he's just equipped some additional armor, just as add-on gear, then yeah, it really does work for him. He doesn't look like a standard Glatorian does. So, there is that. But that's about it. What do you guys think of Gelu? Do you like him? Do you prefer Strack? Feel free to let me know either in the comments below or on the TTV message boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. Thank you all very much for watching, and join me next time when I look over the one, the only, Matanui. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all then.